Greetings here. It is a late day edition of the Desmond Johnson Show, normally on at 12:30 in the afternoons, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Saturday mornings. Had to flip it up a little bit today, going on a little bit on your evening rush hour here at 5:30. Got the Winning the Division hosts Ben Troupe and Ryan Smith in the house. They're going to chop up some stuff from around the NFL with me for this evening. Bill Belichick getting snubbed, first ballot Hall of Famer. We got coaching hires all across the NFL. We'll get to the Super Bowl next week because we've got 2 weeks before we get there. But there's a little NFL activity thing that happens this weekend besides NFL honors that we'll talk about also as well. So it's an NFL loaded edition of the Desmond Johnson Show here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go ahead and roll that intro.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Yeah, welcome to the Carolinas. Everywhere you go, the sky is Carolina blue, the finest. Live action, feedback, the city need that. I've been number one, no cap. Here's the recap. Adrenaline is my addiction. I'm about to relapse. Step on the turf if you want and get your weed whack. I'm going harder than a martyr on the slaughter end. It's the heart of man, that's a rap like a cardigan. I'm breaking records, it's 4th and inches, I count the seconds. The over-under's my roar of thunder, my secret weapon. Yeah, the game is to be told. I don't break, I break modes. Follow me on Tobacco Road.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Again, welcome into the Desmond Johnson Show here. Special time here on Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. here on a still ice-covered Wednesday here across most of the Triad. Desmond Johnson here in the house with Ben Troupe and Ryan Smith, co-host of Winning the Division, a weekly podcast that goes around the NFL. You can find it on the Keep Pounding Podcast Network that is powered by the Fans First Sports Network. Video available at the Tobacco Road Sports Radio YouTube channel. Audio available on any major podcast platform. We're going to jump right into it because you guys have been waiting all day to get into it. We got some around the NFL news and notes. The biggest news, really, I guess, from today, fellas, has to do with current North Carolina Tar Heels head coach Bill Belichick, who many consider to be the greatest pro coach of all time, 8-time Super Bowl winning coach. He will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. In voting earlier this month, Belichick fell short of the 40 out of 50 votes needed for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame during his first year of eligibility. 4 sources with firsthand knowledge of the outcome told ESPN on Wednesday. He did receive a call from a Hall representative on Friday afternoon with the news he would not be inducted into Canton this summer. The sources said that Belichick was puzzled and disappointed by his inability to secure support from at least 80% of Hall committee members. I'll ask you guys, was this some sort of internal conspiracy to teach Bill Belichick a lesson? Because I can't figure out why he would not be, as much as I dislike the man as a coach of the Patriots, the man won a lot. He won a lot. He's got multiple rings, more than pretty much anybody. I think he does have more than anybody in terms of coach. What happened? Like, what do you think honestly happened? Why he didn't make it in first ballot? Because if he doesn't make it in first ballot, now the argument is, does Tom Brady make it in first ballot too? Because they're kind of attached to the hip, which is an insane conversation to even have. Ben, as the former NFL player, I'll let you take the floor first. What do you think happened? Why did Bill Belichick not get in first ballot Hall of Fame?
Jealousy is a real thing. Pettiness is a real thing. When we get to talking about why people be getting so mad at these beat writers and these people that have position to be voting for the Hall of Fame, there is no excuse for this. Like you just said, Desmond, I don't necessarily like Bill Belichick. I don't like nothing about Boston sports. I don't like the Boston Celtics. I don't like the New England Patriots. But that doesn't mean that they aren't rich in tradition. This right here should let you know why players and former coaches get so mad, because you do all you do to get what you got, and the person who analyzes the team, breaks down the team, and doesn't like you keeps you out. There is no excuse for Bill Belichick not being first ballot. And I will say this to the people that didn't vote him in: you shouldn't get to vote anymore. You have proven that this is not for you. If things need to have term limits, Smitty, they need to have term limits because, number one, you mean to tell me the person that never did it, never got on the field, never did? And I know one of them that did it. I heard some sources that said Bill Polian was one of the ones that did not vote for him.
Yeah, I heard he kind of maybe led a charge to kind of make sure he didn't get in first ballot because of Spygate and Deflategate and all that stuff.
And then he comes out and said that's false. But
yeah,
here's the thing, right? Isn't it the same Bill Polian that said that Lamar Jackson is a bona fide running back and you don't think he should ever be playing a quarterback? And you see what?
Yes, he was.
All I'm saying is Bill polling those guys doesn't understand the power of social media and the power of leaks. Somebody within that department saw this and said, Bill Belichick not can do this. Is crazy. Somebody did it. They didn't get the 40 out of 50, so somebody started the charge. And whoever agreed to this is really telling on themselves. If jurors in a court case have to stand up and say, juror number one, what did you guilty not get? We need to know how you voted. Because all this secrecy stuff, I don't like that. College football playoff, tell us how you voted. NFL Hall of Fame ballot, tell us how you voted. Because some of these people aren't getting in, and it has nothing to do with their credentials on the field, as we can see.
What do you think, Ryan? What do you think happened here? Why does Belichick not get in as a first ballot Hall of Famer into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Whether it's Bill Polian or somebody else, I would agree with Ben. It's really all political base here. It has nothing to do with his on-the-field credentials. It has everything to do off the field. I think I heard from some people talking to them, like the cheating stuff back in the day, Spygate, Deflategate, the other gates that we may not know about from public-wise, like those rub people the wrong way. And now whether they were the only team to do it, and they didn't get caught or they got caught like other teams, that rubbed people the wrong way. And that's not the only thing, obviously. There's probably other things that we don't know about that happened as well. So I think all of this to say is off the field fluff. And that's to make him, like you said, Desmond, prove a point and to not get in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I still think it's insane. I'm with you. I do not like the man. I do not like New England, and I do not like anything that Boston area stands for. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate the greatness that he did during his time with New England, and obviously one of those Super Bowls did come at the expense, of our Panthers. So.
Right, which is partly why I don't care for the Patriots. Really, is because of that Super Bowl 38, where actually they got in trouble for that Super Bowl where they were taping.
That was Spygate.
That was Spygate. Yeah, they got taping across camera.
When it comes to the Patriots, as you can see, I don't like them either. I know why you done. Mine is a little bit more historic than you guys, but it's all good. It's all
we've seen this before though. Terrell Owens, kind of the same way. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. The media didn't really let him in that first time, and he had to wait to get in. Chris Carter, I think, had to wait to get in himself. But this is different. This is Bill Belichick. Like, regardless if you like him or dislike him or whatnot, he's generally universally regarded as the greatest professional coach of all time. He's been to, I think, 15 conference championship games, 16 conference championship games as an assistant coach and a coach, 2 with the Giants, multiple with 11 with the Patriots, I believe it was, or 13 with the Patriots. So, I mean, the guy did his thing. So, I don't know. It's just a weird situation here, and he'll just have to wait. There is no second vote or anything like that. So, 6 Super Bowl wins, man. 6 Super Bowl wins. 8 if you count the 2 as the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants, where, to be honest, he probably put together the best defensive plan of any Super Bowl of all time, slowing down the K-gun offense of the Buffalo Bills in that Super Bowl, because people forget how potent that Buffalo offense was going into that Super Bowl. Like, they should have won that Super Bowl, but Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator to kind of figure out what to do to kind of slow them down. They ended up winning that game. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Bill's still trying to do his thing down in North Carolina. Let's move over to breaking news from earlier today in the AFC. The job that felt like nobody wanted got filled today. The Cleveland Browns hiring Todd Monken as their new coach, former Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator. He'll turn 60 on February 5th. He was replacing Kevin Stefanski, who was fired January 5th after 6 seasons in Carolina. Browns were 5-12 last season. They have an 8-26 record since they last reached the playoffs in the 2023 season. Monken was the Ravens offensive coordinator, and I think people expected him to follow John Harbaugh to New York if he wasn't hired as a head coach himself. He's spent the past 3 seasons in Baltimore, was not retained on new Ravens coach Jesse Minter's staff, and will be Cleveland's 11th full-time coach since returning to the NFL in 1999. Good move or bad move for the Cleveland Browns to hire Todd Monken?
Ben, I'll take this one. Browns are going to brown. At the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns, are not a good franchise. They're not a serious franchise. There's the NFC job on the other side that hasn't been filled, which we won't talk about that. But this is the AFC job, like you said, Desmond, that did not want to be filled by somebody. But Todd Monken was the choice. Jim Schwartz, the longtime defensive coordinator there, is rumored to be wanting to get out of his contract because he thought he was going to land the job, thought good about it, and then obviously he's going to head elsewhere. But this Cleveland Brown team, they've got a young defense. They've got Myles Garrett. They've got a lot going for them on the defense side of the ball. But offense leaves a lot to be desired, and they got to hope that Todd Monken, who, like you said, was not retained on Baltimore Ravens staff, with Jesse Minter, who coached Lamar Jackson, who coached Joe Flacco, that's right, Desmond. Let's also remember the only reason the Browns made the playoffs in 2023 was because Joe Flacco went on a kind of semi 30-year-old Joe Flacco run instead of 40-year-old. And that was pretty much the reason why they made that playoff 2 years ago. If it wasn't for Joe Flacco getting traded to them, that would not have happened. So this organization, I mean, Ben, I know you saw it, the whole the essays, the very data driven, tell me about this, that, and the other, and all these data points. And you see guys like Jesse Minter and others pulling out of the search, Grant Udinski, because they're just like, no, we're not going to do this. This is unserious. And so, Browns are going to Brown is my answer.
My question too, Ben, Todd Monken's been kind of under fire the past two postseasons as Ravens offensive coordinator because apparently he forgot Derrick Henry was on his team and just didn't give him the ball in the second half of games. Your thoughts on this? There were other candidates out there, but it felt like guys were dropping out of the search. Like they didn't want to go to Cleveland. Is this a situation where Monken wanted his head coaching gig? It's got to start somewhere. Start from the bottom. Now we're here. Is that kind of what's happening here in Cleveland?
You hope so, but I think people don't understand how much of a effect Kurt Signetti has, not just in college football, but NFL as well. People start looking at guys that are older, and even though Todd Monken has never been a head coach, I know he was on that back-to-back national championship team, coaching Stetson Bennett, as you mentioned, Smitty. But you got to ask, why now, though? Like, why would you hire him now? Why would you hire Todd Monken? Because sometimes you just taking the job that no one else wanted. I mean, I know that Jim Schwartz was the defensive coordinator when I was with the Titans back in 2004, so he's been around. But like you said, Smithy, the Browns going brown. The Browns do things that people go, huh? Todd Monken was on nobody's radar. His name did not come up nowhere else. Like Brian Schottenheimer this time last year for the Cowboys. And you always got to ask yourself, do you think Todd Monken is that good of a coach that nobody else wanted him but the Browns? Oh, that's right. That's what it is. The Browns said, hey, Todd, you want to – now, does he see – him being able to work with a guy like Shedeur Sanders? I can see that. I'm not taking that away. But when you're the offensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs, you got a team around Stetson Bennett. I don't know. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward.
They got a defense. They got a very good defense.
I mean, look, maybe when I got drafted, when I was getting ready for the draft, when I was coming through the NFL Combine, when I went in there with the Butch Davis, was the head coach then, former Miami Hurricanes head coach. When I was doing my left team in interviews, when I walked in, they had a shrink in there talking to me. They asked me questions like, Ben, would you rather be on a team that didn't make the playoffs, but you were a Pro Bowler, or you rather have a really, really good year, but y'all don't make the playoffs? I'm like, this is why y'all the Browns. That's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't say that. When you do things that no one else does, you're not gonna reinvent the wheel. You're not. It was so many candidates, but you know what Todd Monken approves? People don't want to coach there. They interviewed a lot of people. And here's the thing. They only tell you the person that says yes. Just like we talked about earlier with Bill Belichick, they ain't going to tell you who said no. Because that hurts the right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to really – it's a lot that goes into it to convince somebody to come to Cleveland to coach football up there, just where you're living, everything else, and where they are in their own division, really, because you would have to consider them starting off fourth in this division, right, with Baltimore getting a new coach, but they got Lamar Jackson. You got Pittsburgh. We're about to get them in a second, but they're always more stable of a franchise. And then Cincinnati still has Joe Burrow, so it's like, I mean, we don't even know if Todd Monken is 100% behind Shedeur Sanders. Like he might even be on the roster next year. Like we don't know. Like we don't know what he has planned.
pick a guy, but I mean, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Winning division host Ben Troupe and Ryan Smith in the house here on a Wednesday late edition of the Desmond Johnson Show. Apologize to those that are looking forward at 12:30. Decided to come on at 5:30 today to get you your NFL fix. Let's move over to the AFC North from earlier yesterday, actually, from my friend Alana Getzenberg, who reports on the Bills. Bills promote offensive coordinator Joe Brady, who me and Ryan are intimately familiar with, who was former offensive coordinator here, or pass game coordinator at Carolina underneath Matt Rule. They promote him from within to head coach on a 5-year deal. They announced on Tuesday. He replaces Sean McDermott, who we're also familiar with, who was a former defensive coordinator here before he got the job with the Bills. He was fired last week after the Bills were eliminated by the Broncos in the divisional round of the playoffs. He was head coach for 9 seasons in Buffalo, taking the teams to the playoffs in 8 of those years, but could never get over the hump, never made the Super Bowl. And in a year where there was no Pat Mahomes, there was no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow in the playoffs, they still were unable to make it to the Super Bowl. And thoughts on Brady getting promoted? People have kind of touted him as being like one of these next up kind of guys. And honestly, under Joe Brady, the Bills have an MVP at quarterback. Give me your thoughts on Joe Brady getting promoted up from OC to head coach. Ryan, let's start with you because you have a little bit of familiarity with Brady being in Charlotte.
Yeah. Ben is the wrong word. Uninspiring. I think that's the word I'm looking for here.
Hey.
And it's not. And it's nothing to do with Joe Brady. It has nothing to do with Joe Brady. It's more about the Bills. Promoting Brandon Beane, who was the general manager. They gave him a new title. Sean McDermott, I can get behind them firing him after 9 years, haven't reached the Super Bowl with your Super Bowl star quarterback. I can get behind it. I just
kind of the same reason why Harbaugh got let go in Baltimore, really, right?
I can get behind it. But Joe Brady, besides having familiarity in the building, and Josh Allen might like him as a person and maybe as a play caller, tell me what else can give Bills fans credit saying, well, we thought outside the box, we interviewed a lot of people, and we're going to actually go with someone that wasn't in the building, that wasn't working with Josh Allen previously, that we think could actually give us a big kind of leg up, something we haven't had before. But no, they go with the person who's in the building and has the experience with the Josh Allen and who is part of all these teams that have not gone to the Super Bowl. So I think the only reason he got hired, and I could be wrong on this, that whole the whole CEO type approach that some of these head coaches go for, that Brady's going to be able to preside with, the football operation side versus the GM side and all the personnel kind of stuff. And he had a plan for all of that and what his staff is going to look like. And as a leader and a CEO, here's what he would do as opposed to what McDermott did. And he gets his own shot to kind of call the shots, if you will. So that's kind of my only reasoning that I think is why they hired him.
We might need Ryan to step outside the vehicle and getting some daylight before the sun goes down. Be careful walking around. I know it's going to probably be icy there. Yeah, or turn the interior light on or something so we can see you, brother. Ben, your thoughts on them hiring Joe Brady? No head coaching experience before this. This was his first offensive coordinator job, if I'm not mistaken, because he was passing game coordinator in Carolina and came from LSU, where he was the passing game coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, with Joe Burrow. So your thoughts on this? Did they mess this up? Should they have went after somebody else, or do they believe in this kid?
I do think they messed it up, and this is why I think they messed it up. Why are they so afraid to bring in somebody that's going to coach Josh Allen hard? See, if Joe Brady just goes in there, what's up, baby? we just go from, now I'm the head guy. No, culture gets established from a new guy, not a guy that's already been in the building. When the last time a team coach hired from within and it worked? When the last time they hired? That stuff works in college. It can work in college, right?
I'm trying to think of one. I can't.
Well, the reason why I say this, Des and Smitty, is for this reason. What is it about Josh Allen that people are afraid of? He's supposed to be the man, right? He already won MVP. He gets all the praise when they win, but he's never the problem when they lose. Well, what you think Joe Brady's going to say? Joe Brady's going to be like, yeah, man, obviously I am not saying that you don't want to coach Josh Allen. But Desmond, name a time that you had a demanding coach that came from the outside that didn't have success. Let's go through it real fast. Last time I checked, the head coach of Georgia was Kirby Smart. He was at Alabama. Pretty good, right? Yeah. Nick Saban was at LSU. He go to Alabama, and it happens, right?
Yep.
Sean McVay didn't get hired from within. I'm talking Mike McDonald didn't hire from within. When you hire from within, there is something about this team that you don't want to get out. Another coach could expose what was going on before he got here. Joe Brady, he's switching offices, and they high-five him, right? They high-five him. And look, it's a great place to coach. I do think Josh Allen has unfair expectations on him to be able to take them to a place they've never done. Always comparing him to Jim Kelly, but that's what comes with it. But whenever you hire from within, it's something that you don't want people to know, because Joe Brady can keep it in tight, and he can tell the new guys, "Hey man, this is how we do. We don't talk about this." Because if you don't think that Josh Allen tears had any bearing on this, it had bearing on it.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, but that ain't Josh Allen tears. That stuff matters. It shouldn't. But could you imagine if Lamar Jackson made it to the playoffs and he had to go through and he had this route to get there and he didn't make it? Yeah, they would have lost it. People lost their minds.
Yeah, and honestly, you're right. You might be onto something with the Josh Allen thing, but the only thing I can think of is that the Bills are looking at it like a Steelers situation, which is funny because we're talking about the Steelers here next, where the Steelers, have had 3 coaches in like 60 years or whatever up until last week. And usually they're young guys, like in their 30s or whatever, that they can be there for 20 years if they're that good. Not here. Well, yes, Brady's young, but he doesn't have we'll see. Maybe he might be wrong and he ends up being the next wonder kid like Sean McVay. Like, who knows? Like, maybe that might be. If he gets a strong...
Is he going to call the play? Is he going to still call the plays to be the head coach is the real thing.
I don't know, because we just dealt with that with Dave Canales for the past 2 years, and it's kind of up and down results. I'd almost wish he'd turn over the play calling to somebody else, but...
That's not happening.
That's not going to happen. So once you're in there calling them, it's really hard to let that playbook go. Frank Wright wouldn't let go of calling the plays here in Carolina and until he was kind of forced to, and then he had to take it back because he never wanted to get rid of it. So I think he's going to still call plays. So that's what's going on in Buffalo as all this stuff is kind of getting moved around. Over in the AFC North, I'm not sure what to do with this one. Pittsburgh hires Mike McCarthy to be the head coach there, and his press conference was yesterday. A reporter asked him, does he want Aaron Rodgers back as his quarterback? Of course, you guys remember Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers didn't necessarily end the way that people thought it would in Green Bay, resulting in McCarthy getting fired. He did say he has spoken to Aaron. That's kind of where they are. They're going to sit back and watch he was able to sit back and watch the games on TV. McCarthy's 62. It's a complete change in philosophy of the Steelers for the past 65 years in terms of who they hire at head coach. You got to think McCarthy's some sort of bridge quarterback, right? Or bridge coach, right? Coming into the age of 62 with a potential 42-year-old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Has Pittsburgh lost its way? Because this didn't feel like Pittsburgh at all. And all my friends that are Pittsburgh fans, one in particular, is just distraught. They're like, I'm done with Pittsburgh right now. I can't, man. I don't know. And I'm like, I told you didn't need to get rid of Mike Tomlin. I've been telling you that. Don't run Mike Tomlin out of here because you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like over on the other side where we're not having winning seasons every year for 20-something years or whatever. You're taking it for granted. You haven't had a quarterback since Roethlisberger retired. So that's really the number one reason why you haven't been on advance, not Mike Tomlin. So you've run Tomlin out. Now you have Mike McCarthy. Who would you rather have as your head coach, Mike Tomlin or Mike McCarthy?
Oof, this situation, when I saw it, sometimes it take a long time to really see what organization really is. If you Chuck Knowles and Bill Cowens and Mike Tomlin, you think, oh, they're gonna go, and you're gonna go with Mike McCarthy. I'm like, hold on. Like, and my thing is this: when people say, "Well, Ben, he won 15 years ago."
Yeah.
Think about this. Everybody, and we ain't aging nobody. Everybody on Dad's on your show right now. We all of us, right? We like in our, early 20s, late 20s.
I just turned 48 last Monday.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying about this, though. Des, you know why it was shocking? Because we thought we knew Pittsburgh. We right. They were the one that did not do what everybody did. They didn't go with trends. They didn't go with momentum. They went with the sure thing that's going to be here a long time. When they said Mike McCarthy, you know what that says? Why are you doing other interviews then? Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Of all this? What's all this smoke and mirrors? You wanted Mike McCarthy the whole time.
I don't understand.
And my thing is this. Based off of what?
Yeah, I'm good.
To say he won before.
He's from that area. He's from the Pennsylvania area. It seems like to be the main thing that drew him, I guess. I don't know.
You know what poses the question? It lets us know something about these front offices. It ain't really going the way we think. See, we giving these front offices way too much credit because if you're telling me, if I'm in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and someone says, all right, Ben, give me some candidates, I could give you 20 and Mike McCarthy name ain't going to be in them. His name is not going to be because they think when he was at a big-time organization with Green Bay, big-time organization with Dallas, man, he's a big-time organization. No, that's who hires him. He didn't do anything. After 2000, he got to be the head. He got to be the quarterback in 2025 because of what he did against Mike Tomlin in 2011.
Yeah.
Let me say this. At the end of the day, I agree with most of your points, Ben. Mike McCarthy has 11 playoff wins, and yes, that Super Bowl was a long time ago. The guy works well with quarterbacks, but the Roonies told you during the press conference, they told you this was going to happen without saying Mike McCarthy's name. They said that they don't believe in taking years off. They don't believe in just gutting a roster and going to top 5 pick. They don't do that in Pittsburgh. That's just not who they are. And so they told you this was going to be the route. Now, no one saw Mike McCarthy's name being attached to that, but they told you they weren't going to hire some first-time head coach, 30 years old. No, they want to win, and they want to win now with a 42-year-old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers or whoever else they bring in there. At the end of the day, I agree, though, with you, Ben. This is a little puzzling, as you know, but Mike McCarthy does have those 11 playoff wins. He's good with quarterbacks, and he has won in the past, and he's worked with some big brand names like the Dallas Cowboys, like the Green Bay Packers, and obviously now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose fan base is very iconic and very popular throughout the entire nation, and they're going to expect success.
The Ronies talking in the past. They ain't talking about right now.
Yeah. See,
whatever they said does not make sense with what they did. I get what they and I agree with you too, Smitty. But like I said, if they're serious about winning, right, they don't hire who they hire. I keep on saying this. You telling me that I could be okay since 2011, and we put too much on playoff wins though. I'm not, and I love them. How deep are you going in the playoffs? Are you going deeper in the playoffs? Are you one and done? Because Tony Romo got to go straight to the booth, not because of what he did, but because of who he played for. It's a lot of quarterbacks. He was in Dallas. He's right beside Jim Nance. And I'm not mad at him. So popularity gets you stuff. There are people that don't think Mike Tomlin was that good of a coach. The nerve of them. They don't think he was that good. And I'm like,
he's better than Mike McCarthy. I'd take him over McCarthy any day of the week. Like, at least I know we might start off slow. We might not have a quarterback, we might have 4 of them, but we're going to finish at least 9-8 or something to that effect where we're going to look competent. Like, I'm a Panther fan. I've gone through seasons where we have not looked competent at all. And Steeler fans have not, probably since like the 80s, maybe. So it's like they don't understand. They don't understand what it's like on the other side. And I tell my friend all the time, you'll see. Wait till they get a coach. It's not Mike Tomlin.
There you go, Dan.
Y'all gonna yearn for Mike Tomlin. You're gonna be looking for this dude like across he's gonna be in hiding too, because he knows he's gonna be getting looked for. He's like, nah, I'm done. I told y'all I'm walking away. Real quick before I get you guys out of here though, Super Bowl's not this weekend, it's next weekend, Sunday on NBC and Peacock. But this weekend is kind of like the in-between week for everything. The NFL honors will be on Saturday. They'll crown an MVP. They'll crown a coach. I won't talk about that because they stopped the voting in the regular season, and it sounds like Matthew Stafford's got that locked up based off of the way the odds and everything ended when they closed it. I'm more interested in your views on the Pro Bowl that'll be on Sunday. Well, the Pro Bowl games. It's no longer the Pro Bowl. It's basically like when we were younger back in the day, ABC Wild World of Sports, like in the summertime, where like Darryl Green would be like racing everybody and like smoking everybody's boots in the dash. Yeah, they're doing tug of war and all that stuff. It's kind of like that, where they're doing like these games, and there'll be a flag football game basically. Is there even a point to do the Pro Bowl anymore? Because yes, you get voted to it, but you can get voted to it and still just not do it. It seems like a waste of time. Thoughts on this? Because Ben, you're the former NFL player. Ryan, you're an NFL observer. Are either one of you going to watch the Pro Bowl this weekend?
No, I'm not going to watch it. And I'm going to keep saying this about the Pro Bowl. If you are, and I mean this, if you are afraid for these big time players to get hurt, this is what the Pro Bowl should be. whatever players on whatever team get nominated to a Pro Bowl, you get to nominate a teammate to play for you. Hey, man, look, I want you to go play for me. I'm going to tell you why. The thing about the Pro Bowl that I don't like, it's a popularity contest. I love you, Shedeur. Love you. There is no way Shedeur Sanders gets in over some of these guys. And I ain't got nothing to do with Shedeur. I ain't got no problem with Shedeur. I have no problem. But here's my thing. If we want to make the game fun again, right, give it to guys who are unsung. Because we got what 7-on-7, flag football, catching balls out the air, dodgeball. Look, just call it the NFL Pro Bowl experience. Don't even call it all this other stuff.
Pro Bowl games. That's what they call it now. Yeah.
If you are a Pro Bowler.
Derek Brown did make it for Carolina, and he had an outstanding season.
Derek Brown, Derek Brown's still in even after alternates. I'm like, what is Buddy watching?
They don't give alternates for trench players, I guess.
It's not even. If Derek Brown is not a Pro Bowler, get rid of it. Because once again, how is it you not a Pro Bowler and then these all pro teams come out and there he is? And that's the one thing that not even the fans can mess with. Can't mess with the all-pro teams, right? Because it's based on what you did. I don't like the Pro Bowl because it is not real. Play football.
Ryan, are you going to miss the Pro Bowl? You already said you're not. You have zero plans to watch it Sunday.
No, I'm not going to watch it.
I don't even know what time it comes on. I think it's on ABC. I'm not even sure. I don't even know where. I think it is.
Like when it's on, it don't even look like it's on. It look like how ESPN got they got dodgeball now. They got
like when they run the Ocho and they're doing lawnmower racing and stuff.
Fighting championship. That's what it looked like, man. It don't even look real no more. And think about guys that grew up wanting to be a Pro Bowler, and this is what it has become. Craziness.
Yeah. That's. Oh, and we'll leave it on this note here. Panther Dog says Derek doesn't have a famous daddy. And on that note,
that helps.
Well, I know. I'm surprised they didn't bring Dion in to interview for that Browns head coaching job, but maybe they did on the slide. Nobody knew about it. And he was like, "Nah, I see what y'all got going on over here. I'm trying to get my own son out of here. I ain't trying to come here and work for y'all."
Not prove to where it is.
We got to go. We're up against the time here. We'll be back Friday. Matt Alquiza from Hornets on SI will be with us. The Charlotte Hornets are cooking with gas right now. They're one of the top teams in the NBA since January 1st, number one in offense. They're just really playing really, really well. He'll talk to us about that. And now Giannis Antetokounmpo has put in a trade request from Milwaukee officially. So trade deadline coming next week. Charlotte is apparently rumored to be one of the teams that has been aggressively possibly going after Giannis. So we'll talk about all that on Friday. And we'll have John Dell from the Winston-Salem Journal here because we're supposed to have a NASCAR event here in Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray Stadium this weekend. But if you haven't been paying attention, we also have about 5 to 6 inches of snow coming in here starting Friday. So he'll tell us the latest on if that's going to still be going on or not and what to do if it's rescheduled or if not. So we'll have all that for you on Friday, 12:30 p.m. live right here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Shout out to Ryan Smith. Shout out to Ben Troupe. We'll see you guys live on Friday, 12:30.